Hey there, how's it going? That opening scene though, eh? Scary stuff. So, kind of getting into a routine here at home with this whole quarantine thing. I mean, not quarantine really. Do you even call it quarantine anymore? It's just we're all staying home. Yeah, anyways, we work from home, so kind of normal for us. But yeah, so we've been getting into this routine, waking up really early and, spending long hours, being productive, working on programming apps and stuff. And we're not great with routines. We have great intentions, mind you, but we have this tendency to start one and then it lasts a few days and then it crashes and burns. But this has been a few months, so I'm hopeful. Okay, so yes, I have gotten off subject. It's too easy for me, honestly. I don't think I even started the subject. I just said, scary stuff and opening scene or whatever. So, the bear. That fateful day. I think I may have already mentioned in previous videos that Nafe and I like to hang out in nature, and we both have DSLR cameras now and a few good lenses, and we love spending time trekking around and taking nature photography. We started this back in 2014 when Nafe wanted to buy me a new digital camera. And he somehow talked me into a professional camera, or at least semi-professional. And honestly, I don't know how he persuades me, but there is this sick, messed up, curious side of me that always indulges in his ideas. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. But like having a hot tub in my dining room. Yeah. You can hear all about that in the video link up there, provided I know how to stick a link up there. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out, but if there's a link there, press on it, and that'll take you to the dining room. But, I mean, don't do it yet. Watch this one first. So, anyways, we bought this DSLR camera, and really couldn't afford it at the time, but we did it. And, Nafe, as you can expect, oh yes, I want to buy you a camera, but there's a side of him that was super curious about the camera. And of course he dove into the technical side of things, and that INTP in him, like months obsessed, another obsession. And he became really good and still is very, very good at photography, technical side of photography. Amazing, really, actually. He could be very good at, he could make a living off it, but he wouldn't. He masters something and then he just moves on to the next thing. He gets bored very easily. But but we do love trekking around in nature, and we love taking pictures. And I'm getting a little off subject here, but basically we love going out into nature and taking pictures. And that's kind of how the story starts. So when Nafe first came to Canada, he used to always say he wanted to see a bear in nature, and I used to laugh at this idea, like you're just gonna go out there in the forest and spot a bear and take a picture. It's rare. It just doesn't happen. And when I was little, I pretty much grew up around the forest. My parents had a cottage in the Eastern Townships in Canada here, and every summer we were up there, and a forest right in the backyard, and we would trek through the forest all the time and never saw a bear. Now I knew, of course, I'd always heard that black bears are very skittish, and we certainly don't have grizzlies in this area, and so yeah, you just don't see them. Oh, look at that. There's a bear fighting for the fish with the guy there. That was a cute commercial. You remember that? You old enough to remember that? I don't know who's watching. But anyways, cute commercial. Very funny. Looked real. So it was spring 2016, and Nafe and I headed out to the trails in Ottawa here for a couple-hour hike. We like heading out past where other folks typically go. It's relaxing to be so far out without the sound of traffic or people. And it's just great. On this particular day, we felt quite adventurous. And although we were aware that we always needed to stay alert and, but I never expected for I mean, I just never expected to come across anything dangerous. But, you know, on this day, we were really deep into the forest and much further than we normally go. We got to this area of the forest that was eerily quiet. At least, you know, this is our perspective afterwards, because when we talked to each other a few hours later, we were both saying that we were in this area of the woods that seemed oddly quiet suddenly. And neither one of us were talking. And probably a good 15 minutes just slowly walking through the trail and, you know, taking photos of birds and insects and things. And then suddenly there he was, standing on all fours right in front of us in the path, probably 2 or 3 meters away from us. Literally just, we bumped into each other almost. It was like an adult bear on all fours, probably just waking up because it's spring. And he obviously didn't hear us, and he was crossing the trail in front of us. And I think we were all startled by it, the bear, Nafe and I. And it took us all like a few seconds to realize what's going on. You know, like we're looking at him, he's all like groggy bear, and looking at us and human, like maybe he's never even seen a human, I don't know. He looked like an adult bear to me. Like he came up, if we were to measure, he'd be, you know, well up past my waist on all fours. So that's bloody big. And he just stared at us and slowly sort of moved forward to go across the trail. And you know, it took a few seconds for my brain to register bear, right? So I did like the worst thing you could possibly do. I screamed. And like a bloody idiot, I screamed and I start running. I'm like, Nafi, let's go. You know, even though like within this moment of time, I know there was a side of me that was saying you probably shouldn't do this. Like I'd heard you shouldn't do this, but I was like completely out of control, panic mode. And it was just this other side of me, much louder side of me, was like frantic, saying, get the hell out of there. So I screamed to Nafi, let's go. And I start booting it. And Nafi didn't run. So I grabbed Nafi's arms and I'm yelling like, run. But he held my hand and he's trying to get me to stop. And he's like, no, don't run. You're not supposed to run. Something along those lines. And I knew this, but all that rationale was out the window for me. All I could think of was get as far away as possible from this killing machine. So I began running and screaming for Nafi, like looking back, come on, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, it was like George on Seinfeld. Anyone watch Seinfeld? That scene where he's pushing down children. I think he even pushed a grandma or something, and like just to get out because there was like a fire in the kitchen or something. Just horrible. So I felt really bad about that. I mean, I only ran like a few meters from him, and then I stopped and begged him to run. And he did eventually start backing up and running as well, because he obviously was worried about me. But what he did was exactly what you're supposed to do. He sort of put his arms out to look bigger and yelled, you know, for the bear to leave. And he's like yelling in a gruff sort of voice, not a squealy, screamy voice like I was doing. So he had this really quite gruff voice, and the bear sort of took off into the forest. Nafi sprinted, got caught up to me, and as soon as we slowed down, Nafi's like, let's go back, I want to take a picture. You know, it's like, what? Are you crazy? Not happening, mister. Nafi went on to remind me how dangerous it was to do that, and the best thing to do is to just stand your ground and yell at the bear to leave, especially a black bear. And you can't, you know, escape by getting up a tree, because he is really proficient at getting up a tree. So, but it's just I couldn't imagine just standing there. Anyways, I'm certainly not going to do what that woman did in that viral video. Did you guys see it? That one with the, you know, she's walking through the forest with some friends, and, you know, this black bear shows up and gets all handsy with her, and she's I'm not sure if she's just being ignorant or brave. I'm pretty sure she took a selfie with this bear. I think she got off lucky. Yeah, I don't think that's something I'll do. But since this encounter, we've done many, many more treks through the forest, camping trips to Algonquin Park. Have not come across another bear. Lots of foxes, owls, raccoons, deer, many, many birds, squirrels, and lots of chipmunks. Love those chipmunks. And even a moose, but no bears. Now we wear a bell on our backpack while we're walking in the forest to, make sure the wildlife has a heads up. And I'm more or less confident that I will not scream again if we do come across a bear. The logical side of me says absolutely not, can't do it. Done some research now. I know what's right, what's wrong. But there is this frantic, panicky side of me that I don't have a lot of control over. So there's hope, though. But one thing about this story is that I need to work on not doing that, leaving Nafe in the lurch again. So, all about that teamwork with him and I. So yeah, I gotta figure it out. And maybe we just stick together and get eaten by that bear together. At least we're together. Let's hope that never happens. Okay, gotta work on that. So. There goes Nafe now. He's headed out to pack the car. We're headed over to Algonquin Park. It's an amazing park. Love going there. And it'll be cold, but exciting and fun. And we'll take great pictures. And that's my bear story. Nafe, wait! I'm coming! Did you pack the bear spray? All right, guys. Bye.